Hey basketball players, welcome to another film study where I break down film of professional players and teach players how to better understand the game and how to better play the game. By the end of this video, I hope point guards, and this video applies for any player, but I hope players take away some skills that they can apply to their game today to become better players. I look at some advanced concepts, but at the end of the day, everything is pretty simple. We're going to dive right into the film. If you want 3 advanced shooting workouts that I've put together, all you've got to do is subscribe to this channel, drop a comment below of your Instagram handle, and then I will DM you that shooting workout. Or what you can do is screenshot your subscription to my channel, and then you can email it to coachmasonwaters@gmail.com, or you can just send it on Instagram to @masonwaters_. And then once you show me you're subscribed, I'll send you those 3 shooting workouts. But let's get right into the film here. And the first thing that I want to teach is for point guards. And these are things that apply to all players, but the 3 points that we're going to see in these first couple clips of Luka Doncic is point guards need to look down the floor as soon as you get the rebound or the outlet. Instead of looking at your defender and trying to find your defender and cross them up or whatever, instead of dribbling with your head down, as soon as you get the basketball, you've got to look to advance it down the floor with a pass. The second thing to know as a point guard is that the easiest baskets your team will get, they're going to come in transition when the defense is not set. You can imagine if all 5 defenders, if the other team, they make a basket and they get back and they're set, you got 5 defenders in a stance, they're all looking at you as you dribble the ball up the floor. That's a harder situation to score against than if you get a defensive rebound or an outlet and you just pass it ahead to a teammate and they get a wide open layup. That's pretty obvious. So the earlier you can get a scoring situation when the defense is not set or ready to defend, the better chance you're going to have at getting a high quality shot. And then lastly, and this has to do with leadership and being a leader of your team and keeping your team kind of one team, one heartbeat kind of thing, is you've got to reward teammates for creating offense. We'll see in the clip what that means, or one specific example. But to me, this glues a team and has to do with leadership. And that just means if your teammates are running the floor and they're sprinting and they're running ahead of you to post up, to sprint to the 3-point line, if they're just running their tails off to get open down the floor and you do not pass them the ball, well, during a timeout, during a dead ball, they're going to walk over to you and say, "What the heck? Why are you not passing me the ball? I'm running as hard as I can. I'm trying to get us an easy basket, and you are too selfish to pass the ball. What the heck are you doing?" It's not good for your team cohesion. But on the other hand, if you do pass the ball, people are going to love to play with you. Your team cohesion and the camaraderie and the togetherness of your team is going to be a lot stronger, and your team is going to have a better chance at winning. So let's look at these first couple clips here of Luka Doncic. And the first one, we'll watch all the way through, but look, as soon as he gets the rebound, he's looking down the floor. So right here, he almost passes it. Right there, he almost passes it. And he still ends up passing it to Porzingis for a post-up turnaround. So going the slow motion through this is already Luka Doncic has not even passed the foul line, and he's already looking to pass it. And then right here, he's like, "Ooh, am I going to pass it here?" No. Keeps his eyes up, keeps looking, almost does it again. He doesn't have the passing angle, but he takes a dribble somewhat across the floor and delivers it to Porzingis. Right here, and this goes back to the teaching point, the defense is not set. Porzingis has one-on-one right here, and even though 23 on the Lakers, forget his I'm just kidding. LeBron James is on defense. Obviously, he's really big and he's a good defender, but Porzingis is 7'3" or whatever he is. So this is an advantage, one-on-one in the post, and the defense is not. The 4 help defenders are not ready. And Porzingis delivers the ball, and they score a basket. Now you can imagine if Porzingis does all this work and he does this 5 possessions a game, and Luka Doncic never passes him the ball, obviously Porzingis is not going to enjoy playing with Luka Doncic. But because Doncic is a willing passer and he passes to his teammates, I would imagine people enjoy playing with him because when they work hard to create position, Luka Doncic ends up passing the ball and rewards their effort. All right, so very simple one here, and it goes back to the same point. you got to reward your teammates for running the floor. So many players are not willing to make this pass right here. They're selfish, or they just don't have the skill, or they just haven't thought about they need to be able to make this pass. Fundamentally, on this play, the bounce pass was the right decision to make here. If Luka Doncic makes a chest pass and the ball goes straight in the air and never hits the ground, well, Lonzo Ball has an opportunity to just stick his left hand out and deflect that pass. But because it's a bounce pass, it can't get deflected. And even though it's a tough pass, obviously as a passer, whatever position you are, point guard or otherwise, you want to pass the ball so that your teammate does not have to reach back like this. But nonetheless, he still gets it and still makes a layup. All right, so we're going to look at 3 clips of different situations here. But the first tip offensively, this goes for point guards, but I didn't write point guard tips. I wrote offensive tips because this applies to every position. Whenever you can draw 2 defenders on you when you have the basketball, that's going to create an advantage for your team. We'll look at that in more detail here in a second. And then the second thing is, whenever you drive and attack the paint, stay on 2 feet, unless if you have a wide open layup, obviously take it and you can jump off 1 foot. But usually if you have a defender on you or a rotating defender slides over to help, you want to stay on 2 feet and use shot fakes. This is a super common question that players will ask all the time is, hey coach, I'm an undersized guard. I'm not as fast as everybody. I'm a little bit slower and I'm a little bit weaker. What can I do? Well, your natural athleticism, I really think we have way less control over that stuff than we think. Of course, work out and work on your quickness and everything else. That's good. You want to maximize those things. But at the end of the day, there's going to be super athletic players who never have to work at their athleticism, and there's going to be slower players who are just never going to be fast, or they're never going to make leaps and bounds with how quick they are. But if you're a slower player, the best equalizer or the best skill that you need to have to make up for that gap in your speed is a shot fake. Luka Doncic is not a super quick player, and there's so many things that you cannot compare Luka Doncic to when it comes to your average college, high school, or player of any level. But as far as his shot fakes, any player of any level can use that. So on this first clip here, he does it wrong. Even though he ends up with a dunk, and this is the thing about basketball, you can do wrong things and still get away with it. You can do right things with it, and it still might not work out. So there's never a perfect possession. But the good thing, there's one positive and one negative in this play right here. The positive is that he gets 2 defenders on the basketball right here. So as he drives, he's got 2 defenders on him, which makes it a 4. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4 offensive players versus 3 off the ball. And unfortunately, he leaves his feet. Even though he ends up dumping it off to Porzingis for a dunk, if Damian Lillard slid over and cut Porzingis off, he might have gotten a steal. It might have caused Doncic to travel or whatever. So usually a good rule is this: don't leave your feet to find a pass, leave your feet to make a pass. So in other words, the only time you should jump when you have the basketball is if you have a wide open layup or if you already see a teammate who's open, and in order to make that pass, you have to jump. So pro there, 2 defenders on him, negative, he leaves his feet. It still works out. So this is a better example of staying on 2 feet. So it's a pick and roll. He's going to have a shot fake, step through, and then dumps it off. But a couple things to point out right here. So first of all, in this ball screen, look at Luka Doncic's pace. He's not sprinting. He's not out of control. He's basically jogging down the lane. No, really, he's really just walking, honestly, more than jogging. But this skill right here of getting on 2 feet and using a shot fake is very important. And a lot of times that first shot fake, if you shot fake and pivot back out, then if you have teammates on the perimeter, they'll be open. And then as you reverse pivot out or front pivot out, you use that shot fake and then pass to your teammates on the perimeter. But if they're not open, you've got to have the ability to have multiple shot fakes. So there's another shot fake. You got the defense to jump. And usually if you have 2 good shot fakes, that actually look realistic, where your eyes go to the rim, the basketball goes up to your forehead or above, and it looks like you're actually about to shoot it. Most defenders do not have the discipline to stay down on 2 shot fakes. So if you can use 2 shot fakes, that's a lot of times, if they're good, it's going to work. And then here again, he draws 2 defenders on him, so he's got Whiteside and Hood on him. Help defender rolls over and leaves their feet, which leaves a wide open pass here on the weak side. All right, so right here, 2 defenders. Well, let's watch it all the way through. Let me rewind it. We'll watch this play all the way through. It's a high pick and roll. Hits the diver for a lift. So other than getting 2 defenders on the ball right here, there's 2 things I wanted to point out in this play, and we could go in more detail than this, but there's just 2 details I want to point out. So first of all, he gets a double team, draws 2 defenders on him, but he doesn't dribble into the double team. He keeps his space from the double team. Whenever you're doubled, if you can beat the corner and just dribble around that help defender and get to the rim, do that. But if you're not super quick, you've got to be able to have a retreat dribble, or a step back right here. Not step back jump shot, but just step back away from the defense right there so you can get some space to pass it. But the second thing that he does is he uses an eye fake to the top player. So you can see his eyes right here are looking to the player at the top of the key. This tricks Lonzo Ball and makes Lonzo Ball think he's going to pass to the top of the key. And I would also guess Lonzo Ball is kind of in a guessing game right here, so he might just be guessing and try to jump for a steal right here. And Lonzo Ball, he gets a lot of steals, so that's part of his game. But Luka Doncic looks at the top of the key here, but he knows, even though he's looking this way, he knows his pass is going to his right. So that's a very, very important skill for point guards and for any other player, is the ability to look left and fake a pass, but meanwhile you know you're passing it to the right or vice versa. Just looking off defenders is very important. So a must-have skill that point guards have, anytime you're in a ball screen or a pick and roll, and you're the ball handler coming off the screen, obviously this is going to be for point guards most of the time, you've got to be able to read the tag defender on the weak side. So the bullet point says, must-have skill, reading tag defender on weak side in a pick and roll. So if we go back to that former play right here, the weak side defender is Brandon Ingram right here. JJ Redick is on the strong side, so the strong side is the half of the court that the ball is on. The weak side is the half of the court that the ball is not on. So right there was Brandon Ingram, but I'm going to go forward into a diagram here to show you what I'm really talking about. So what we have in these diagrams right here is just a 3-on-3 situation. So it's not 5-on-5, but just imagine, you can actually, you don't even have to imagine the other players. Just imagine it's a 3-on-3 situation right here. So what you have in each diagram is you have the one who's the point guard is dribbling off here, and the defense is blue. So X5, who's guarding the screener, and X1, who's guarding the point guard, both of them slide over, and they're both guarding 1. Okay, well then after 5 sets the ball screen, 5 will roll to the rim as part of the pick and roll. The weak side defender is normally known as the tag defender. They might be called the bump defender or something like that. But the weak side defender, their job in some defenses is to step up and get in front of 5 as 5 rolls to the rim. So they don't want them getting to the rim wide open for a layup. If the weak side defender tags the roll man and slides over into the middle of the paint or somewhere in the paint, 1 on offense has to be able to make this skip pass to 3, because obviously X3 left 3. Now on the other hand, as we move to the right side, if same situation, it's a high ball screen, 1 dribbles off, X5 and X1 both double team the ball, or that both cover the ball. If the weak side defender stays on 3, or whatever number is on the weak side, then obviously it's wide open right here, so 1 is going to make that pass. Now, let's look at this from the defensive perspective. If you're X3. If you're X3 at the college, well, maybe 50-50 on college, but high school and especially middle school, if you're X3, most of the time, if not every time, you're going to want to tag the roll man, because this pass to a wide open, or I should say this pass to the wide open roll man or role player, that pass is a lot easier to make than this skip pass right there. So that's the diagram of this play, and now we'll watch, I think I've got 2 clips of it, of him reading the weak side tag defender. All right, so that was it all the way through. So you've got a ball screen, and first of all, a really good screen is set. So even though it's not really 2 on the ball, what happens is 2 defenders are still occupied. So the screener's defender is Jahlil Okafor. Because it's such a good screen, Jahlil Okafor has to guard the ball. Now the weak side tag defender slides over and is looking to stop the roll man. Luka Doncic makes the read of the weak side defender and ends up making the right pass. Second, notice the accuracy of this pass. It's right in the shooting pocket of Justin Jackson, and he's able to make the 3-point shot. Now, one other thing I will say, for this player right here, because basketball is a game of sequences, just because you make the first read correctly, that doesn't mean the second read or the third read or fourth read is going to be easy or automatic. Whenever you're playing good defenses, you have to make good reads. Justin Jackson makes the 3-point shot, so it's the right play right here. But I would say a lot of times this extra pass right here to the corner, especially if the corner shooter, and I'm not saying this is the case for the Mavs, but especially if this corner shooter is a better shooter than this player, this one more or extra pass to the corner is one of the best team basketball plays. But that's going off kind of on a tangent because they still made the 3, which was important. All right, so right here, another read of a tag defender. So similar to the diagram, even though it's not a solid ball screen, a lot of times, I don't know exactly what terms the Mavs use for this type of screen, but this is a called play where it's just an automatic slip right here. So this guy knows he's not even setting the screen, but it's the same principle. He dives to the rim. The tag defender slides over into the paint. Because he's in the paint, the skip pass is open. And notice, look how accurate this pass is right here. It's right in the shooting pocket. Porzingis sets his left foot down for his, there's different terms for it, but his pivot foot, his power foot, his base foot, and his shot. He's able to keep that down on the floor, which shows it's an accurate pass. A bad pass would make this player slide to the left or slide to the right, shuffle 2 or 3 times. But it's an accurate pass, proper read of the tag defender, skip pass to an open 3. Now, the last thing I'll point out on this play, and this goes back to a former clip, is point guards. One of the best things you can do, especially as a slower player or a fast player, either one. But Luka Doncic does an eye fake. So look at his eyes right now. He's looking to the dive man, and as he goes up to make the pass, he's keeping his eyes on the dive man. R.J. Barrett is reading Luka Doncic's eyes. If you play football, this is how it is as a cornerback or a safety. But he uses his eyes. See, look right here. He's still looking at the dive man, and the ball is above his head. So the defense thinks, oh, he's passing to the roll man. That's when, and look, even as he releases the ball, he's still looking at the roll man. Now he looks at Porzingis. But he uses his eyes to confuse the defense, makes the read of the tag defender, and it's an open 3. Now, this is a lot of information, but if you take each individual piece, it makes sense. It's like, all right, if that guy slides over, I pass it away from him. If he stays in the corner, I pass it to the roll man. Pretty simple stuff. All right. Now, this is the same thing, so same principles again. It's a ball screen, 2 defenders on the basketball, which is a good thing. Luka Doncic is reading this weak side defender, and he makes a really impressive hook pass. And because the weak side tag defender does not actually tag the roll man and spaces out, that means the roll man is open. Now, and I will say from the defensive perspective, I'm not exactly sure who this player is right here. But either way, whoever this player is, this is a good defense because they're faking the tag. And from the defensive perspective, from this defender's perspective, you want the point guard or the ball handler to think that you're tagging this player. And then if you can make them think to make the skip pass, well, as soon as he releases the pass, then you can recover out and cover your man. But Luka Doncic, this is one of the reasons why he's such a good player. But anyway, 2 on the ball, read the weak side defender. Weak side defender stays on the wing, or stays on the shooter or the perimeter player. So that's open for a roll man. All right, so pick and roll. One other tip for this is don't just think ball handling moves, but think of different types of ball screens. So you need to have different ball handling moves so that if you're going off a ball screen, you got to be able to go behind the back or split the defense or have a retreat, dribble, and then attack. You've got to have all those skills to score out of the pick and roll, and you've got to be able to make the right reads. But you also can use different types of ball screens, which we'll look at. There's many different types right here, but you've also got to think of what types of ball screens can we use that will counter the defense's coverage. And then you got to think also, it's not just about, how can I score out of dribbling, out of the pick and roll, but how can our team score out of the ball screen? So here is a clip. This is a ghost screen, and it's very simple. All right, so it's a made three. But a ghost screen, so what screen the offense uses should be dictated by how the defense covers it. But a ghost screen is usually going to be set, and I say set with parentheses or quotation marks, by a shooter, and it's going to be against a hedging defense. So you can see right here, this defender who's guarding the screener hedges really, really hard off the ball screen. And because he hedges hard, and as this defender is going to this sideline, as soon as he starts shifting that way, the screener goes the opposite way for a wide open shot. The reason it's called a ghost screen is because you're making it look like it's an actual screen, but it's not really there. The screener's just running up like they're actually going to set it, and then boom, they kind of disappear and run along the perimeter for an open three. So a ghost screen is good for hedging defenses. All right, so this is the last clip right here, and I don't really have a slide. But another great thing, another skill that great passers have and great point guards have is the ability to pass the ball into space before a teammate is open. One of my coaching mentors, whose name is Milt Travis, he's introduced me to the term a late passer. And late passers, they just pass the ball too late. But early passers are good passers. So right here, Luka Doncic is already making this pass to this block, even though Seth Curry is on the opposite block. So just like a football quarterback has to lead their teammates into open space and let them run into the catch, so does a good passer. And this is a very tough and good shot. But the very simple point is, great passers are able to connect where the open space is on the floor, and they're able to identify when a teammate is running into that open space. All right, so that is the completion of this film study of Luka Doncic. Players, I hope that you've taken away some things that you can implement into your game. I know it can be very complex or seem like it is, but when you break down each individual point that I made, it's really, like, basketball is honestly pretty simple. It's just you've got to go out and practice. You got to get one or two or three friends, and you got to work on those ball screens and making the reads. You've got to look at film and not just watch it as a fan, but watch it as a student of the game and understand positioning of defenders and things like that. Again, if you'd like those 3 shooting workouts that I put together, I just ask that you subscribe to this channel and then drop your Instagram handle below, and I'll send it to you. Or you can screenshot a subscription to my channel to @MasonWaters_ or CoachMasonWaters@gmail.com. Just show me you subscribed, and I'll be happy to send you that workout. Again, I hope this was helpful, and I'll look forward to sharing more videos with y'all soon. Hope everybody's well, and take care. That's it for this film study. Thank y'all so much for watching. Again, for those free shooting workouts, just subscribe to this channel, drop a comment below of your Instagram handle, and then I'll DM you. Or you can screenshot your subscription to my channel and send it to @MasonWaters_ on Twitter or Instagram, or you can email that screenshot to CoachMasonWaters@gmail.com. If you do that, I'll be happy to send you those free shooting workouts. Thank y'all again for watching, and I look forward to sharing more videos with you. Take care.